Hey friends, thank you so much for clicking on this video. It's something a little different for me, but I hope it's helpful for some of you. I really love making New Year's resolutions, and I do it every year. And honestly, I've been pretty successful at keeping my resolutions and using them to make giant changes in my life. I stopped smoking, I've quit drinking, I lost 140 pounds. In this last year, I've become a full-time self-employed artist and musician. So when a friend asked me, like, how do I do it? I thought it could be helpful to make some short videos to explain just my personal process step by step. So here is my 31 days to 2023 resolution countdown. I'll be putting out a short video each day centered around setting you up for success by creating actionable resolutions that you can stick with all year long. So I'd encourage you to get a notebook or start a Word document or type your thoughts into your phone, just whatever works best for you, but decide on your system. So I like to use one of these composition notebooks. I'm taking you through the very process that I use, and I'm going to do it with you this year. So I don't have my resolutions for next year planned out yet, but this is generally when I get started working on it. So let's just jump right in and get started. So my first step is to take a full personal inventory of where I am right now. I think about the resolutions that I made last year. How did they go? I jot down like the big things that are bothering me. So like, what are the big pressures I'm facing? What are my responsibilities? How is my physical health? How's my mental health? How are my relationships? How's my stress level? What kind of grade would you give yourself, like based on the decisions that you've been making this past year? Are you happy with where you are, or are there things that you want to change? I can't imagine not having things that I want to change, so I'll assume that you can also think of at least a few things to write down. And that's all you're doing here is just writing it down, like making a bullet list. This is just for you, and there's nothing that you have to share with anyone else. After the big things are down, think a little deeper. So where do you feel stalled? What do you feel like you can't change? What have you been putting off? What things are you doing that make you feel drained or that no longer serve you? It's hard to know what the right answers are to ask yourself, but try to be as honest with yourself as you can be. You're not writing down any plans here. Just focus on what is. Focus on how you've been feeling physically, mentally, relationship-wise. There's nothing off the table, but you're not focusing on change yet, just on what is. And this isn't meant to be just all bad things about yourself. Include what you're proud of, how far you've come from last year or 10 years ago. Don't just dump on yourself. Give yourself full empathy here, but consider yourself from different angles. Again, this is just for you. So I don't really encourage you to share this with anyone besides maybe your therapist or a very especially encouraging friend. The idea here is to think of your life a little more holistically and on the terms that are most important to you. So I'll be a little vulnerable here and share some of what I've written down for my day one inventory. All right. I'd like to be more consistent in exercise and push myself a little harder. I've done well at going to the doctor and the dentist and maintaining my weight this year. I do need a new therapist, and I need to research what modality would work best for me. I'd like to be more focused and productive at work. I'm very happy with my work schedule now. I'm glad I changed my career path, and I'm much happier than I was last year. I wish I was more patient. I hate doing chores, and I always find them miserable, and I don't want to have that mindset. I do need to be a better communicator. I'm really horrible at returning emails and messages. I hate how depressed and anxious I am all the time. I'd like to be more social and less of a recluse. I'd like to be less concerned with what other people think of me. I don't drink enough water, and I drink way too much coffee. Okay, that's enough of that. For this exercise, and really for all of them, you can always go back and add more later. Give yourself a little space for additions and revisions. You'll find yourself thinking more and more about your goals as the month goes on, and that's really a huge part of the process here. Habits are not formed overnight, and you need time to prepare your mind and your situation too, so that you're set up for success in meeting the goals that you choose for yourself. Going too hard, too fast is a quick way to burn out, and if you're going to choose some goals for yourself for this entire next year, it's really worth it to take some time to really think out what you want, what you need, and how you can make that happen. So that's day one. It's a personal inventory. I hope you join me every day for each step of the process, and I hope it's helpful for you. Please leave a comment if you're interested in taking part of this process with me, because I'd love to hear what you think and how it works for you. You have the potential to create positive change in your life with small, actionable habits. but it helps a lot to get started early and not just wait until January 1st to make your New Year's resolutions. So I'll see you tomorrow.